Hello, my name is Madeline. I am 21 years old. I am currently a communication studies major with minors in art history and philosophy at Westchester University. I am a senior with plans to graduate in December 2013. Not really sure what I'm doing after graduation yet, but that's life. I'll figure it out eventually. I identify myself as a white American. I have background in German, Scots Irish, Cherokee Indian, Lithuanian. Um, I don't think very much of my identity is based on my genetic ancestry. Um, being in like that culture was never really a big part of my life. It was kind of more like just knowledge. I actually didn't even know about the Scots Irish portion of my heritage until like a year or two ago. I never never thought I was Irish. Like on St. Patty's Day, I was never like I'm Irish, woo! But then I found out that I always thought I was more German than anything. Found out that's actually not true. I'm a majority of Scots Irish. So fun fact. I actually participated in the DNA testing project my freshman year. I had Dr. Foman for intercultural communication, and there were a couple students in the class who participated in the DNA project, and I was one of them. Um, so I kind of remember the results. I lost all the papers, so that's why I'm participating again this year. Um, so I kind of have some idea of what I'm expecting to see, but I don't really remember. It was 4 years ago, so I don't really know what to expect. But I have like a general idea. I'm expecting European. I know that there's a little my like one thing that I remember is that there was like 3% of Asian background. Um, so that was like the exciting thing for me 4 years ago. So hopefully that result is the same again. So I know that it wasn't just like a fluke. I wouldn't really be surprised to see different races. Then talking in the class and looking at all the different profiles of other participants, there's a lot of people who have like a little bit of everything. And so I'm kind of expecting that. I know it's going to be mostly European. But yeah, so not really worried about anything. Um, I do not anticipate a shift in my self-perception after seeing the results. I don't really think it's going to be like life-changing or anything like that. Like I know pretty much like there's mostly European background with the like standard mix of everything else just because that's the world. That's how the world works. And so, like I said, it doesn't really affect like that's not really a part of my like, self identity. Is my ethnicity or cultures of my ethnicity. So I'm not really expecting anything to be really different. Um, Learning about myself and my family, I am pretty aware of the background of my family. The one thing that I was never really sure about was the Cherokee Indian on my paternal grandmother's side. Um, she always said that she was part Cherokee Indian, but that was never really confirmed. Um, so I'm interested to see if that does actually show up in my results. I have not really talked to anybody about my ancestry. When I talked to my grandparents a little bit, but not really that much. And they were all kind of from this area, and so I don't really. They never really ever talked about their ancestry. All of my grandparents came from very large families. With like so like I had a lot of very much older like brothers and sisters of my grandparents. It's not my aunts and uncles, whatever them. I had lots of them, and um, but I never really knew them, and so we never really talked about. like that aspect. Like my family's not big on like background and culture or everything. Like my mom recently started cataloging her mother's like pictures and family life, and she hasn't gone back very far, and I don't think that she will, because they lived in a very rural area. We're not even exactly sure what year my grandmother was born. Um, and like there was no way of record keeping, so that information is just kind of not lost, but very hard to find, and takes a lot of time and effort to look over that information. So we will probably not pursue that, at least not for a while, especially since my grandmother and her entire like brothers and sisters have all passed away now. So there's not really any way for us to follow any leads or anything like that anymore. Um, but yeah, so I'm excited to get my results back soon, and yeah, DNA project, awesome. Woo. Cool. Hello, my name is Maddie Lauver. Um, I was asked to do a post interview for Dr. Foman's class, the DNA for the DNA study. I was expecting, because I had done this project my freshman year, I'm currently a senior, I was expecting to get the same results because DNA doesn't change. However, I did not receive the same results, I guess because of um, the differences in the DNA test or something like that. But one thing that I remembered distinctly from my test my freshman year was that um, I was 3% Asian, and so I was expecting to get the same results. However, I was not 3% Asian. I um, I received my results back, and I was, I believe, like 99% European. Being, visibly white, I was expecting to be mostly European, but I was not expecting to be that much. Um, Here's a little picture of my chart. So, as you can see, it's mostly blue. I'm 99.2% European with 0.52% Hispanic, 0.27% African, and 0.01% Native American. 0% East Asian, which is not what I was expecting. So that was a bit of a shock. Um, I was, I'm not really surprised by the other dispersals. I mean, they're, except for European, they're all under 1%. Um, so there's not really anything significant there. So I guess that's just kind of like the dilution over the years of my family. I was a little bit surprised that I didn't receive more Native American background. My my grandmother had always identified herself as being at least a little bit Native American, um, and she had always said that she was Cherokee. And on my distribution, it says that I'm Michigan natives. That's the largest portion of the Native Americans. So I'm not really sure what that means, but it's not specifically listed as Cherokee. Um, so I guess there's that. Um, and my European distribution, the most of it was East European Adriatic. So that part doesn't really surprise me. It says containing Croatia, Bosnia, and Serbia. So I looked at a map and tried to figure that part out. And my grandmother was um, from Lithuania and Yugoslavia, so in that area. So that kind of makes sense to me. Um, but yeah, it doesn't really change my identity with myself at all. I had hoped that I would keep the 3% Asian because that was kind of like a gimmick that I had. I'm 3% Asian, but it's not that big a deal. I don't really think it will affect how I see myself or how other people see me or anything like that. Um, but yeah, I had fun with the DNA project, and I hope that the website team has a good time putting all these videos together. Good job, guys. You rule.